Welcome to the Bird Podcast. I'm Shobha Narayan. If you are watching this on YouTube, we are in Bhutan, a tiny mountain kingdom with a staggering 774 bird species. In contrast, India, which is about 10 times the size, has 1200 species. Bhutan is carbon negative, sustainable, and has a Buddhist culture that reveres wildlife. Where we are is Tiger's Nest in Paro. It hangs on a cliff's edge and is perhaps the most iconic site in Bhutan. Legend has it that Guru Padmasambhava, he who was born of a lotus, originally from India, flew here on a tiger to subdue a demoness. The supernatural with hungry ghosts, demons and demonists mixes with the everyday, even in the heart of Paro town. You can see it in the paintings that adorn the monasteries. You can also hear it from traditional astrologers, and you see it in the hills that you traverse on your way from city to city. Nature is woven intricately with life in Bhutan. Many of the traditional dances at festivals honor different nature spirits, including serpent gods. Perhaps because of this, the Bhutanese people tread lightly on the earth. Recently, the Bhutanese government opened the Trans-Bhutan Trail, which traverses the country east to west. It takes 36 days of arduous trekking if you want to do the whole thing, but you can do parts of it as I did. Here is Dochula Pass, which is where we began, and our guide was Namgay Tshering, an excellent birding guide. He said that in order to really see birds, you have to go to the east of Bhutan, which we couldn't do. So tell us where we are.
So we are at right now in Paro. So I'm Namgay Tshering. So I'm freelance tour guide, birding and photography
Okay.
in Bhutan.
In Bhutan, yes. So tell us about Bhutan a little bit, Namgay.
So Bhutan is a small landlocked country, lies in the eastern Himalaya. So within the area of 13,394 square kilometers. So people in Bhutan lives deeply on the Buddhism and the traditional of well-being, and their lifestyle is followed or guided or measured by the gross national happiness. So measuring the happiness for the people or the populations. And Bhutan is between north to the Tibet and south from the India.
So Namgay, birders are crazy about coming to Bhutan. What are some of the bird life and bird species that they can see here?
So I would say Bhutan is one of the top birding place or habitats. That Thimphu National Park is one of the finest destinations in the Asia. So we can see we have a rare and exclusive birding that like white-bellied heron, the beautiful nuthatch, tragopan. In the east, we have Blyth tragopan, satire, and Timmy seen there.
If you look at Bhutan as east, west, north, and south, are there any special areas that are worth going to for birders or all over the country?
So I will mostly prefer or advise that go towards the east or the center and to the south. So we have Bumtang, where we can see the Monal pheasants, Himalayan Monal, satire tragopan. And if you go further east, Beautiful Nuthatch, the Wastrogon. In the south, white-bellied heron, and some more beautiful birds there.
So typically birdwatchers, where do they fly in? How do they come and where do they go? And how long do they stay?
So mostly when they come to the birding, so they stay minimum like say 18 days tour. So they go all the way to the east from Paro. Some they fly international airport like Paro. Then some they come from Phinsaling, the border of India. So they do birding in the south, and they go to the east Mongar. So that's one of the best spot, a hot spot for the birding.
Tell us about your favorite bird species and why do you like certain birds?
So for me, I like Blyth tragopan. So it's very rare in Bhutan, and it is in the east, Wamrong. So from here, if I like drive for like say private botanist, we drive at the one day. For the tourists, it takes like 3 days to reach over here. And very rare that to find that one, we have to hike for 3 hours, and very adventurous birding trip at that. So usually we go for the habitats. So the Blyth pines habitat is the mid-row, like bamboos and the rhododendrons are there. So he's also one of the shy bird and very rare and very beautiful. So what we do is we plan for 1 week to stay in that place or the forest. So we camp there and try early in the morning, evening again, and until and unless we get a big or the great pictures, so we stay there.
Um, what are some of the common species that you see in Bhutan, even in the cities?
So common birds that we see in the higher, like say 2,000 meter, are the uh, house crow, the russet sparrow, and bulbul on the south, red-winged bulbuls, and the greyback shrike. So common pigeon are the most common.
And some unusual species that you can even find for people who come into the cities?
Unusual, mostly the migrant bird. They are like say in Paro we have a river, so in the winter mostly they fly over here, and like say bearded pochard, it's a very rare one. So red crested pochard and mandarin dog. Even in the before last year, sorry. So we had the crane, the white black neck crane has visited in Paro, like 2,000 meter.
Namgay, tell us about the places you took me to. For example, we were in Lamperi where we saw many nice things. Can you talk about what we saw there, about those birds?
The Lamperi is one of the best hotspot. So it's just under the Thimphu district. So that park is mainly to preserve the botanical, the rhododendron botanical park, where the students or the family can visit there, enjoy the nature. So while we are visiting over there, we have seen the gray-sided laughing thrush, the white-browed scimitar babbler, red-billed nuthatch, and so on.
So the red-billed leothrix, we saw it was far away. It prefers to stay inside the vegetation, isn't it?
Yes, a little bit shy, and actually for the guiding, the plus point is we should know about the call, so which bird is calling, and then if the shy bird is not coming out, we play back for a few seconds, and if we don't play for the longer, because they might get disturbed and they might also harm their habitats.
Yes. And the minlas, we saw 3 types of minlas in Lamperi.
Yes, red-tailed minla, blue-winged minla, and the chestnut wing minla, so also known as bar-throated siva.
Ah, okay. Oh, so that's the same name. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. Then we saw a black eagle. We didn't see too many raptors, but we saw 2 of them.
Yes. So mostly in this elevation, so we will not see much the raptors, but the black eagle is like it's very rare to find on the perch. So mostly we have to look on over, so where they can fly and hunt. So we have seen very close. That's first time that I'm seeing very close to in Bhutan.
Last question. Do you have any message for the people who watch this show about Bhutan or birding?
So I would just have a short message for all the viewers. Bhutan is one of the top destinations. A small country having like 764 species in the short distance and the short short habitats. So if you visit, you will definitely cover a minimum of 400 to 500 species on the tour.
Thank you. Thank you for being on the Bird Podcast.
Most welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bird Podcast is produced by Ullas Anand and Echo Edu. I'm Shobha Narayan. Thank you for listening.